Inside the 9/11 Commission report, there are 2 pages that put attorney Thomas Mellon Jr. on a 7-year path, a path that resulted in a federal lawsuit alleging Iran is linked to the September 11th attacks.
240, 241.
Under the title Assistance from Hezbollah and Iran to al-Qaeda, the report concludes, we believe this topic requires further investigation by the U.S. government. And that's what prompted Mellon to dig further.
And we took one interview to the next, one tip, one lead, one bit of evidence to the next step, and it's now taken us since July of 2004 to firmly establish the truth that indeed it was Iran who assisted al-Qaeda.
The 9/11 Commission report found several of the 9/11 hijackers traveled through Iran into or out of Afghanistan without ever getting their passports stamped. But the Commission found no evidence that Iran or Hezbollah, the State Department-sanctioned terror group that's supported by Iran, were ever aware of the planning for the attacks. In the lawsuit filed in New York, Mellon and other attorneys allege Iran and Hezbollah were involved in the planning.
What is your strongest evidence?
Our strongest evidence is the fact that the people who wrote the 2 pages on the 9/11 Commission report calling for further investigation have now given us very long and detailed affidavits.
Mellon says 3 defectors from Iran also provided evidence in 25 hours of sworn videotape testimony. But that testimony is currently sealed to protect their identities. One person who's interested in monitoring the case is Thomas Kean, the former co-chairman of the 9/11 Commission. He says he's unaware of anyone in the U.S. government following up on the Commission's recommendation to investigate Iran further.
There were a couple of examples of that. This wasn't the only example. There were a couple of examples where we pointed to leads that we didn't have the staff or the time to investigate. And nobody followed through. Yes, that's annoying. It's serious. People should have followed through.
At this point, Ellen Saraceni says all she wants is an answer. Her husband, Victor, was a pilot for United Flight 175 that was hijacked and flown into the World Trade Center. She and other families named in the suit are seeking damages, but she says she knows no damages will be paid.
It will fulfill a lot of feelings of mine that need to have the perpetrators of such evil found accountable, but it still doesn't bring my girl's daddy back home at the end of the night.
Now, our calls to the Iranian mission to the United Nations were not returned, and Iran has not responded to the lawsuit. But its state-run media quotes a senior Iranian lawmaker refuting the allegations, saying, in his words, Washington is playing a blame game in the Middle East. Wolf?
What about these 3 Iranian defectors? What do we know about them?
The lawyer we talked to said that they were high enough that they had access to sensitive information, saying they were with Iran's Ministry of Information and Security. Again, their testimony is sealed, but the attorney says that he does expect at some point that that testimony will be public.